How you getting on, boys? We have a new update coming with SCUM. It's called SCUM 1.2, The Long Haul. Let's take a bit of a dive here and see what the devs put out to us right before Christmas season. So it's pretty exciting. This was actually posted yesterday, and I believe it went live for this test environment. So this is actually an alpha. It seems like what the SCUM devs are wanting to do now is instead of just releasing it straight up like a lot of companies do, they're going to put in a test environment first and let us kind of play around with it and test it and stuff. I don't know how I necessarily feel about it in the sense of now we're at 1.0. I kind of feel like this might have been the way to go before 1.0, but now at 1.0, because it kind of gives you 1.0 kind of gives you this finished feeling. So I'll just say from my own personal viewpoint, 1.0 is a finished product, right? This is clearly not a finished product, where it's an ever evolving product. What they've decided to do is just make basically an alpha test. I've been playing around. If you checked out my last video, you would have seen that there's a PTE in with certain updates on it. And I've been playing around with that a nice bit and having some bit of fun. There's a lot of like an inventory rework and a trader system rework on how you can buy and sell goods and the availability of the inventory. So it's an interesting concept. It's not quite fleshed out yet, but this is just one more step to make this a complete final release. I got a feeling if I were to make a prediction, I know we have 1.0, but I think SCUM is working towards a 2.0 release date to be the final 1.0. I don't know. So let's get to it. So this is a long haul public alpha. As you're reading this, the December update is available for all of you to try out. We have launched a new branch called the Public Alpha on Steam. What is the purpose of this? Let me tell you. We have tested this update to the best of our capabilities, yet the biggest stress test that is needed, that is when there are more than 60 of you maniacs out there on the server. And when things break, the most is yet to be done. So we're giving it all to you early so you can break it in an isolated environment and not brick every server with forced implementation. So it makes sense. How to access a new build? Same way you would access any other branches through Steam. So you go into your library, right-click on SCUM, choose Properties, choose Beta, and then choose the Public Test branch. So in this case, I believe it's the Public Alpha branch. So some important notes for those single player users out there: make sure you back up your save files before switching. The database upgrade has not yet been executed, so it could corrupt your save files. This is your chance to make sure you save your progress. Private server owners, before you ask, no, there are no server files for public alpha. The reason being is we need to access every single log and possibly crash dump to ensure a smooth release. However, you can expect new server settings and changes in a separate post before the update so you can prepare your servers. So it looks like there's quite a few servers. So European servers, Singapore, Canada, Australia, US East and West, or West. So there's quite a few servers to try out. I might actually load up the US East despite me being in Canada, just because I want to have more people to play with. As of the content for the new update, here is the overview of the most important stuff. For the full list of bug fixes, QL changes, you'll have to wait for the full patch notes. So guys, it's my understanding from talking to some other streamers, this obviously is just a public test. Before I get too far into it, know this: the full release should be coming. You may see it as early as this Monday coming. It's not set in stone. My understanding right now, from people that were testing it last night, there's a bit of an issue where there's pretty much no puppets and no NPCs showing up. So despite down below, there's going to be some really cool stuff happening. Just be wary, you may not see it happen. So if you want to actually test that stuff before the full release, you might be better off to actually go into single player and up the encounter rates, because in that way you'll get to see the new puppet changes and the new NPC changes without having to walk aimlessly around the map. I've also heard too, the vehicle spawns tend to be low too. It's almost like when you first launch into SCUM, it actually asks you, do you want to have the new player experience? It almost seems like for some reason on the test server, the new player experience is already set up. By the time you guys watch this video, we might even have the hot fix for that particular patch. So it may be a non-issue, but just be aware. This is huge, guys. Inventory rework. This is a big one and only gets bigger. The inventory rework is here. And apologize for the lighting. where I'm to right now, I don't have any window coverings, and the sun is coming in, and obviously we just have to wait later in the day, and I don't have another room to go to, so it is what it is. You're gonna have to look at my big white shiny face at this point, so it is what it is. I have my hat on, so inventory rework is here with those long-awaited QOL changes you've been waiting for. It is a chunker, and that is why it took so long, and some issues could arise in this test. So as you can see, guys, the inventory is different. It's got a lot of smaller, more visible grids. Some things are moved around a little bit, I believe. With that being said, here's a list of things added to the inventory rework you can do now with the list further being expanded. You can now join split items directly in chests. If there is no available inventory space, a new stack will be dropped on the ground. A search option in the inventory spaces like chests and wardrobes, everything except clothing. You can now choose exactly how many items you want to take out of the boxes, like bobby pins or ammo. I'm assuming this means nails and bolts as well. Speaking of which, smaller items like pins and bobby pins are now stackable. That's important. You can now put items like nails and ammo back in their respective boxes. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. So you can bring out, I wonder how many nails, I wonder if the count of nails or ammo, nails or bolts in a box have increased. I really wonder now. Picked up items now auto join a stack when picked up. Auto rotate items to fit an inventory. Attachments directly. You can put attachments directly from chests on weapons. You can now manipulate items in chests the same way you could your own inventory. Vehicle inventory and storage expansions behave as all other inventory, meaning you can now put items directly in, no need for chests. Expansion kits now also work as expansion kits in UI, not separate storage. These are the capabilities that are added for now, with more coming in the next couple of days and even more in the near future. There's some issues we need to resolve first before we get them into your hands. So this is some interesting stuff, guys. This is actually arguably one of the bigger things. Next up, we have some massive improvements on the NPC front, starting with the armed NPCs. I gotta say, guys, Arc Raiders right now, obviously I've been playing a lot. You guys know this. I've been playing a lot of the game. It's super popular with everybody. The number one reason why I really love that game is the actual AI, the NPCs. If SCUM could actually get even half of that going, it'll be amazing. Because as you know right now, sorry guys, the NPCs suck in SCUM. They're really frustrating. I'd rather them not even exist. But if this improves it it makes it seem more like a real player, not like a bot, they're smart, movement is good and fluid, and gives you half a chance with anything other than just being one-shotted from, wherever, then all the better. So let's see. So armed NPCs receive new upgrades in their behavior and how they spawn as well. Starting with the spawning, we decide to rebalance how and where you'll encounter armed NPCs. That means that according to the POI difficulty, the level of the armed NPC you will encounter. So do not worry about spawning fresh in a simple village only to get swarmed by an NPC with an SMG. Speaking of NPC weapons, this is huge. We have increased drop chance of NPCs to 100%. That means when you take down one of them, you'll be guaranteed their weapon and maybe some ammo too. This is huge, and I'm wondering how balancing is going to work, but it's huge because story-wise, these are players. These are other prisoners on the island. So if you kill them, it makes sense to be able to pick up their gun, right? Why did a gun disappear? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I know it's a video game, but at the same time, if you kill a player, at least, you should get their gun. Now, maybe balancing wise, maybe they're like 10% or something like that. So it's a crappy gun. Maybe, the ammo is dirty. Maybe you don't get very much ammo. Who said maybe they just spent most of their ammo killing the last player. So technically there's not much ammo. Either way, I look forward to this. With that, we've come to new AI behavior for armed NPCs. When engaged, you can expect NPCs to utilize new tactics such as retreating, moving to the sides, trying to break the line of sight before you start to engage again. You can also recognize if they have an ally in the line of fire and will hold fire until and either wait for the ally to move or move themselves so they can start engaging in. Smart stuff. But that's super important because nobody wants to play against bots. They want to play against what they perceive as other players. So if they're fighting against, if it's hard to tell the difference between two, I think that would be amazing. Now we're going to be able to tell because it's a video game, obviously. But if it blurs the line, you're like, oh shoot, was that an NPC or a player? I think that's what we all want. But we don't want them to be too good. Speaking of NPC upgrades, we've also had some news around the puppets. first up a new mechanic to puppets and their behavior when taking damage. When taking damage in the legs, puppets will now be hindered in their movement, making them limp instead of running towards the player, making combat, especially when there are more of them, much more manageable. That's actually kind of cool too, I think, because if you have a bunch of zombies running at you, you only got a couple bullets, you know, you're, especially the really fast ones. If you got a chance, maybe you can shoot them with an arrow or shoot them with your one-shot pistol because you never found a mag yet in the leg, and you got a chance to live another day. I keep saying this over and over again. I think it's so important for a game. If you're a brand new player and you buy a game on Steam, the developers have 2 hours to get it right. If the game is too hard, too much of a learning curve, it janky, don't make sense, you know, all those things, it's going to get refunded. So at least this is kind of a way that the new player, and when I say new players, I don't necessarily mean just a new player like in that case, but also like a new spawn player. They at least have half a chance to get away from. If you constantly die over and over and over again, it's not fun. I don't care what game you're playing. You're just going to stop playing it. So whether if it's within a 2 hour window, you're probably going to refund it. So the devs are not getting any money, continue to develop the game further, or pay for Christmas gifts. But we all just want to have fun, right? And that's the main thing. And finally, we have a whole new type of puppet. So guys, this is basically a treasure goblin. Finally, have a whole new type of puppet you will encounter, the loot puppet. This one is an abnormal type, as they will not charge you to tear you from limb to limb, yet they'll attempt to run away when they spot you. Now, I don't know how this works lore-wise, but I do like it as a game mechanic. They are extremely rare, though, and for a good reason. If you manage to catch one, you'll be rewarded with some awesome loot, including the backpack. So it's a great way to get a backpack starting off. I don't know if this is the loot that was in the backpack in this particular picture. It looks like it's a Tommy gun, which is brand new. I don't know if this is actually what you're going to find in the backpack. A part of me doesn't want this to be the case. I would rather it be a random mishmash of stuff, because realistically, if this is a former player that's brought back to life in the game, it doesn't really make sense for him to be hoarding all this gear. You know, like good gear. It makes more sense for it to be random odds and ends. But maybe there's a different reason and I'm missing. Either way, it looks like it could be lots of fun. And here's another picture of the treasure goblin, loot goblin from SCUM. Squad emblems. Some people will really like this. I wish this would have came years ago when we were playing a bit more competitive. I just kind of think back in the past when we had a lot of actually big groups of playing and stuff. And this would have been really cool. And even when I participated in the dev event last May, this would have been really cool to have. But I do like it. I like the option. And I also like the rubber ducky. I don't know if this is a shout out to Arc Raiders at all, guys. It might have nothing to do with that at all. But I just love rocking the rubber ducky in Arc Raiders. Plant T banners around your bases, warning to not mess with your squads. That's could be kind of fun. Also introduce our clothing patches. Some clothing you can now set your squad emblem patch, giving you more customization options. Sidecar bike. Let's see the new vehicles. First up, the sidecar bike. So we've been seeing pictures of this randomly. I can see this as being a lot of fun. I wonder, is it a separate vehicle? Because I always thought it was a motorcycle plus the sidecar. This new vehicle can carry 3 people, and of course, on the sidecar it can be mounted a machine gun. Not only that, but you can put more storage space on it, making an efficient mobile firepower unit. So it looks super cool. I gotta say, I like the storage in the back. That's super neat. Dinghy, guys. How many times have we played this game and we're like, you know, this is so cool, all this water, these islands, and we can never get there because we can't find a boat, or someone stole your boat, or you made the raft and the wind's blowing the wrong way. Well, now you can not only get the dinghy, but you can also pick it up in your hands. So you can move it around on land. So this is super cool. You could actually build a base now on an island and secure your rubber dinghy in your base. So when you log off in your base, no one's stealing your boat, right? Or at least not initially. A little bit harder. So it says, get ready to have a true water travel capability. The dinghy is not only a fast boat, but also be carried from one body of water to another. You'll need an air pump to inflate and deflate it. Then you can carry it wherever. It's kind of interesting. Like, I know the game is getting more and more realistic in a sense. You could argue we don't need it, but at the same time, it's, it's, I like this. I think it's fun. I think this could be fun, guys. You don't have to do it as optional, but I think it could be lots of fun. This is the character you're carrying it along with him. Important note, this is a big change with all boats. We changed the controls on them, so don't be alarmed. You now can control the throttle on the boat with the scroll wheel, so do not worry. It's an awesome feature. I hope that also means I can go Shift W and just make it just go. New items. There's a Tommy gun. Let's get to the new items available, starting with the new boomstick. The Tommy gun, this iconic 45 caliber beast, is going to be your new best friend. Fitted with a drum mag that can fit 50 rounds of lead in it. It will make you feel like the greatest gangster from the 30s or going around bushes yelling thunder and flash. Get the reference? Now, this one here is one of my favorite updates. It's the survival knife. This is going to replace the Bushman, I think, for me. Next up, we have a new survival knife. This handy tool is not only a sharp blade for crafting and slicing, but also serves as a compass, has a flint and steel tucked in the handle so you can light fires or other things as well. So it has a compass, which is huge because I know a lot of people don't necessarily start off with big survival skill. So they'll have a compass. And dude, as much as I know this map after playing this game for almost 7,000 hours, sometimes, depending where you're to, you do get lost a little bit. You got to reference your surroundings. Where is the wall? Where is the, you can see the coast and distance, so you can figure it out. When you're in a combat situation, sometimes early in the game, before you have the survival skill, a compass makes a big difference. Yes, you can craft one, but they're pretty heavy. So it's kind of like, do you want to have this heavy thing and then rain and, make it even heavier, makes it hard. The game's getting harder in that aspect. So it'd be nice to have a compass, but they're not always easily to find. But this is actually cool. So I wonder though, having the compass, does that mean you'll get a compass on top of your screen? Or do you have to literally have your knife out, go in first person, and then put it in front of you? That's what I wonder. So I guess we'll see when the release comes out. And this one here, guys, not everyone's going to be happy with, but you are going to get people that are obviously going to be happy with it. I think it's fine. I think it just shows the game is growing. And it says, finally, we have a whole new set of female clothing, hats, tops, skirts, giving you more choices for when fashion is more important than anything else. So again, more clothing items. You hear people complain like, I can't believe you're focusing on it. Guys, you got to focus on everything. Everything. You can't just focus on the one thing. Like if you just like this, get a grip. You'll see more of me playing this game in the future. That's it. That's what we have here. It does say though, start it December 18th, ends December 22nd. So I do wonder what that means, because December 22nd is Monday. So does that mean this is the alpha that's happening between now and then? And then on Monday, they're going to release the patch? You could take it that way, or maybe that's where the rumor started. But either way, I would look forward to possibly Monday getting the patch. Go up there. Guys, I apologize for the sunshine in my eyes. There's nothing I could do with that today. But if you do like the content and want to see more in the future, don't forget to sub, like the channel. This new stuff makes it interesting. The more content, the more likely I'm going to go back as a daytime player, as a full-time player, and you'll get to see more of me as well. But in the meantime, I do other games as well. I also do wrestling content. So if you enjoy any of that stuff, check it out. Keep informed and watch when I go live on mainly Twitch, but I do YouTube as well. So whatever you want to watch me on, I'm there. Say hi. I enjoy talking to you, getting your views, getting your feedback. And if there's a certain kind of game or some sort of content you want me to cover in the future, you can let me know and we'll go from there, guys. Anyway, I appreciate you and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao. Peace out.